is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Breaking this morning, an overnight police chase on the city's east side ends with the death of the person being chased. Coming up, a live report on why officers on the scene were forced to take cover.
Bulldozers tearing down tents and hauling away belongings at a homeless camp along the White River. Why city leaders say it's an effort that will ultimately keep people safe.
And when the weather is warm, there's nothing quite like the great outdoors. Just ahead, the important information you need to know before you go camping this summer. Thanks for starting your morning with us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Meteorologist Todd Clausen joining us here with more hot weather.
Yeah, you know, everybody was asking, where's summer? Where's summer through June with the cooler temperatures and the rain? Well, it's here, and it's here to stay for a little while. So this morning, a little more in the way of cloud cover out there than we saw yesterday morning for your commute. You kind of want to put the two mornings side by side. But sunglasses needed here. We'll thin these clouds out, and we'll have plenty of sunshine today. And your outdoor workout is good to go. Probably maybe a little better this morning compared to later on this afternoon when we start to build in the heat across the area. And radar is pretty quiet right now. There's been a few isolated little rain showers up to the north throughout the morning hours and even overnight hours, but they're fading away. But from Lafayette to Monticello, don't be shocked if you see a sprinkler too. Same as you work your way from Peru over towards the Marion area. And you can see the clouds that are in place across the area, but the sun will start to burn those off here throughout the morning hours, and temperatures will start to warm pretty quickly. We're at 71 right now in Indianapolis. We should be pushing into the low 80s as we get into the noon hour, and then high temperatures this afternoon, anywhere from about 85 to 90 degrees. Elena?
All right, thank you, Todd. Up on our northwest side, a lot of problems for your morning drive, so pay attention if you do head this way. Normally, one lane blocked because of a crash on the northbound 465 ramp to westbound I-865. Now, keep in mind, northbound 65 is closed between 465 and I-865, so that detour route is right along where you're going to need to go, where that crash is blocking that ramp. So the detour, 465 northbound to 865 westbound. Let's take a look at the backup that's building right now. So this is already 465 right around West 86th Street. You can see traffic is backed up all the way past that. So it's going to be quite the mess if you are heading to Boone County this morning for your morning drive.
Thank you. We continue to follow breaking news this morning on the city's east side.
That's where Metro Police say a chase ended in a deadly crash. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning outside IMPD headquarters. Alyssa, what started this chase in the first place?
So, Meredith, Metro Police tell us that shortly after midnight, one of their East Side District officers witnessed a driver that was driving erratically. This was right around 21st and Sherman. The officer reports that driver was speeding through red lights as well as crossing over the center line. The officer says he was concerned about public safety, so he decided to go in pursuit of this person and did turn on his lights and sirens in the process. However, that chase was very short-lived. It only lasted about half a minute before the driver crashed their black Chevy into a power pole at 21st and Dearborn. The impact of the crash caused the car and the power pole to catch fire. The officer started to drive up to the vehicle, but power lines came down in front of him and began sparking on the ground. There was also live ammunition going off inside of the car, forcing the officer to take cover. Firefighters were called to the scene and utility crews to restore the power pole. Now, police say this situation was very dangerous for not only their officers that were involved, but the neighborhood surrounding this intersection. They described it as a very dynamic scene with all of the different things that were going on. Now, we do know that they believe only that suspect, the driver, was in the car at the time of the crash. They say that driver did die at the scene. They have not come up with an identification for that person yet, but they are considering, and they are unsure at this point if this is attached to a shooting that happened earlier in the evening nearby. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. More breaking news, this time from the city's northeast side. 2 people are in the hospital after being shot near 25th and Gale. This scene unfolded just west of Sherman Drive around 12:30 this morning. Police are releasing very little information right now about what happened. We do know a man and a woman were shot inside a home in the area. They were both taken to Eskenazi Hospital in stable condition. The investigation will continue today.
Bulldozers tearing down tents and hauling away belongings at this homeless camp along the White River. Indianapolis leaders say it's part of a necessary cleanup operation. Officials say the shelters, along with trash buildup and illegal dumping, are a threat to the levee, an essential flood protection structure for the city. People who live there say they understand why it was necessary, but they say it could have been handled in a different way.
Just like at your house, you're going to clean your yard, you're going to take care of your trash, you ain't going to leave it just sitting. Yeah. But they could have went about it another way. We could have helped clean it up.
A city spokeswoman says people living there were given 2 weeks' notice. She says they were also given storage and shelter options. The city has undertaken an initiative to raise $4 million to sustain permanent housing for people experiencing homelessness.
The path that we have embarked on as a city with a housing first strategy and permanent supportive housing is a long-term strategy that I think will pay dividends as it relates to those who find themselves chronically homeless.
Last month, the city started a program that pays people experiencing homelessness about $10 an hour to pick up trash in the downtown area. Participants told RTV6 it has given them a positive outlook for the future. It is 6:36, and you know what sounds good right now? Graham crackers, marshmallows, and a bar of chocolate, because there's nothing quite like s'mores by the campfire.
And when you enjoy those treats, there is some important safety information that you need to think about. Our Aaron Lish is live at Belzer Scout Camp with tips to make sure you have a fun and safe camping experience. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning. So there's about 78 million families out in the U.S. who are camping, and maybe you are one of them or you want to become one of them. So we talked to a couple scouts, and they have a few things that you should know. So when you are building that fire and getting that campsite ready, there's going to be some bugs out. So make sure that you have some repellent and check for ticks daily. And when you do get back home, put your clothes in the dryer for about 10 minutes to kill any of those ticks that might come home with you. And scouts, they will be using Dutch ovens here to cook a variety of meals. So if you are handling raw meat, make sure that you're washing your hands so you don't get sick. And then be prepared when you leave home. Have a checklist ready to go. Have anything that you need. If you have allergies, bring your EpiPen and any medication needed. Scouts add, make sure that you have a first aid kit.
To have that first aid kit, that's something we really push in Scouts, and it's part of every experience. And you could have a basic first aid kit that you take with you in case there's a cut or a bleed, or I have 5 children, a mosquito sting or whatever emergency arises. That way you have it ahead of time and you can prepare for it.
Your kit should have 3 to 5 days worth of water so you stay hydrated on your camping adventures. And another big thing that they teach with the Scouts is pay attention to the weather. If it does get bad out, try to seek some shelter and stay away from trees. And with all of this great weather we've been having, Todd, what's it going to look for us today if we decide to go camping?
Yeah, you're heading out camping today, maybe getting an early start on the weekend. You're in great shape. There's just a very, very small chance of an isolated downpour this afternoon, but the bigger weather story, if you are heading out and about, is going to be the heat and humidity over the next few days. As you get ready to head out to work, you got to walk the dog here before you head off to work. Our featured dog of the day is Joey. Looks content there on the couch with his toy, and Joey's sent in by Robin. So thanks to Robin for sending Joey in to us, and you could send your pictures into my Facebook page, Todd Clausen at RTV6. Green paws here throughout the day today. I contemplated putting red paws in as we get towards the heat of the day. So just know that if you need water, your dog needs water as well as we work our way into these summer months. Make sure both you and your pets stay hydrated. As far as today, we have some clouds out there currently across the area. There are a few spotty showers to the north. These clouds will start to thin out. We'll call it partly cloudy today. Highs in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees in locations to the north today. Same as locations to the south, around 89 in Bloomington as well as Seymour. 89 as well here in Indianapolis. So again, stay hydrated. Use the sunscreen if you're going to be out and about. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast coming up.
Todd, thank you. Is Cathedral High School telling the whole truth? Next, as alumni prepare to protest the firing of a teacher, RTV6 is investigating the school's explanation for that firing.
And we will climb into our time machine for Throwback Thursday. It's another tribute to an RTV6 legend ahead of his retirement as he looks at how much money you'd be out simply trying to have a snack at the movies. It's 6:40. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
Let's try it. Fast foodies know the deal.
This afternoon, Cathedral High School graduates and students plan to hold a public demonstration against the school's decision to fire a teacher in a same-sex marriage.
We're working for you to find out more about the school's explanation for the firing, which some have been questioning. Cathedral's board of directors says it had to fire the teacher at the direction of the Archdiocese, or it could lose its title as a Catholic school and could no longer operate as a nonprofit. But RTV6 pulled state records and found Cathedral has been incorporated as a nonprofit since 1972, a distinction held by the school itself, not the Archdiocese. An IU law professor tells us if Cathedral already had its own nonprofit status, the dilemma described in the letter is not accurate.
That's just not correct. They are a nonprofit organization. They get their nonprofit status from the state of Indiana, which issues them articles of incorporation. And that's separate and apart from their tax-exempt status, which comes from the IRS.
Katz says because Cathedral is already a certified nonprofit, the school does not necessarily need the Archdiocese to get the tax exemption known as 501c3. For more details on this complicated issue, go to the RTV6 app and click on this story.
It will be round 2 of the first Democratic presidential debate tonight in Miami. Among the 10 candidates on stage tonight will be South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Buttigieg has mostly been off the campaign trail ever since a black man was killed by a white South Bend police officer back on June 16th. Tonight, he'll be joined by some of the other top-tier Democratic candidates, including Senator Bernie Sanders and former Vice President Joe Biden. It is 6:44 right now, and all we've been able to talk about is how hot it is outside, Todd.
Yeah, you know, it's warm when you walk out the door. You think back to just a few weeks ago, we had a couple mornings that we were down in the 40s in June. Not the case here this morning, as we're in the 60s and 70s. We have a little bit of cloud cover to start our day, but you notice a few peaks of sunshine and breaks in the clouds, and those breaks will get larger and larger here as the morning goes on, and overall it's a partly cloudy day for us. 71 degrees. That's the current temperature. The wind is calm. Sunrise has already happened. Sunset this evening is at 9:17. If you do have plans on this Thursday evening to be out and about, and here are those temperatures. Warm spot Muncie at 72, 71 in Indy, 69 in Bloomington. The cool spot 65 degrees this morning over in the Crawfordsville area. So throughout the day today, we'll warm the temperatures pretty quickly across the area into the mid to upper 80s. So it's another warm day. And if you want to kind of compare it to yesterday, temperature-wise, we should be in the same ballpark. Humidity-wise, same ballpark. The difference is going to be a little more in the way of cloud cover here throughout the day today, and a little better chance of maybe a spot storm flaring up as we work our way into the afternoon hours and the peak heating of the day. So we're just kind of sandwiched between two systems. You notice those showers in northern Indiana that continue to fade away, so there could be a sprinkle up towards Lafayette this morning. Nothing more than that, and then there's storms down to the south, and just in between there we have a lot of clouds, and that's what we're dealing with this morning, but those will start to fade away here across the area as we work our way into the course of the evening hours. And then as we work our way into the afternoon, there could be an isolated downpour or two that'll pop up here across the area. So rain chances aren't completely zero here throughout the day today, but most of us will just have the chance of maybe a stray shower, and that's just about it. And certainly do not work your plans around the storm chance here across central Indiana. The bigger story is going to be the heat and also the humidity. So today we're up into the mid-80s. Tomorrow, probably a little more in the way of sunshine, and as a result, it's probably a little bit warmer tomorrow as we're looking at temperatures anywhere from about 85 to 90 degrees, with more 90s probably likely in southern locations to round out our work week on Friday. And then honestly, we just carry it right over into the weekend as well. Both Saturday and Sunday, high temperatures are right around 90 degrees with just about a 20% chance of an isolated storm. So really, storm chances from today all the way through the weekend revolve around an isolated downpour here or there throughout the peak heating of the day. There's nothing going to be very widespread. There's no big front coming through that's going to give us severe weather. And if you do see one of these spotty storms, it is just going to be some heavy rain and a little bit of lightning, and that is just about it. Monday is still really hot at 90 degrees. And then as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, that's when things start to change a little bit. It's a little bit cooler, but better storm chances enter the forecast as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. But overall, this is a very very summer-like 7-day planning forecast with lows right around 70 degrees, highs right around 90 degrees until we get to the middle of next week. Elena?
All right, thank you, Todd. Not too much happening on the roadways except for up in this northwest side. A lot of problems up there. So the left lane blocked northbound 465 ramp to I-865. I've been telling you about it all morning long. The good news is it is down to only one lane being blocked for this rush hour, but you are going to want to keep in mind that it's part of the detour for this northbound I-65 closure. So to get around it, northbound 465 to westbound I-865. But as you can see right here, traffic moving very slowly. Let's take a look at that on our live in.traffic camera. Traffic is stop and go all the way past 86th Street, so even down to 71st Street. So keep it in mind if it's part of your drive. Allow yourself that extra time.
It is Throwback Thursday time, and it's the final Throwback Thursday where we get to pay tribute to an RTV6 legend while he is still with us.
You may know by now that Derek Thomas is retiring. His final day with us is tomorrow. So we've been looking back at some of the best stories he has done over his 40 years here at RTV6.
Today we go back to Derek's first year in Indy, 1979, and a story that might infuriate you. It's about how the price of concessions at the movies are going through the roof. But check out what they mean by through the roof 40 years ago.
Already, according to the National Association of Concessionaires, only 1 out of 6 movie patrons buy refreshments. That's not difficult to understand when consumers are faced with popcorn that comes in big tubs and carries a $1.50 price tag, candy bar that costs upward from 50 cents, and 24 to 32-ounce soft drinks that claw their way into the $1 range.
$1? Oh my goodness. Those are some ridiculous prices, right? Well, also in 1979, a beer at a Pacers game at Market Square Arena would set you back. You ready for this, Nicole? I don't know if you'd be able to spring this. $1.25.
Woo! I don't know either. Well, you can see much more of this story right now on the IndyChannel.com/history. That is where you can find all of our other Throwback Thursday stories.
Coming up, a police chase ends in death. Next on Good Morning Indiana, what we know so far about the crash and chase that happened overnight on the east side.
And one debate down and one more to go. 10 more Democratic presidential candidates take the stage tonight. Coming up today on Good Morning America, the top moments from last night's debate involving the other 10 major candidates. It's 6:49. We'll be right back.
Weekdays at 9 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time now is 6:52. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. We're working for you on this Thursday morning, helping you get your day started.
We have all your top stories covered, and Lena Martella is keeping a close eye on traffic. We do want to start things off with Todd Clausen and this hot Thursday forecast.
Yeah, we're going to be back in the upper 80s later on this afternoon. This morning, a little more in the way of cloud cover compared to yesterday, but honestly, that's not a bad thing as we get into the afternoon hours. We'll thin these clouds out, so there'll be some times where the sun dips behind the clouds, gives you a little bit of shade to deal with some of this heat and humidity. We're in the 60s and 70s here already this morning, and all those temperatures will warm very quickly once the sun continues to get higher above the horizon. We had a few spotty showers in northern locations, and it's not out of the question there could be a sprinkle this morning up towards Lafayette. Otherwise, partly cloudy today, warm and muggy for everybody. High temperatures in the upper 80s. Heat index values today will be in the low 90s.
We continue to follow breaking news this morning from the city's east side. That's where a police chase that started overnight turned deadly. The brief chase started at 21st and Sherman and ended at 21st and Dearborn when the suspect crashed into a power pole. The suspect's car then caught fire and live ammunition started going off inside of the car. This forced that officer to take cover. The suspect was pronounced dead at the scene.
Alyssa, thank you. Also breaking this morning, 2 people are in the hospital after being shot near 25th and Gale on the city's northeast side. The scene unfolded just west of Sherman Drive around 12:30 this morning. Police tell us a man and a woman were shot inside a home in that area. They were both taken to Eskenazi Hospital and are expected to recover.
Crews continued to search at Carroll County Creek for a 4-year-old boy swept away by high water more than a month ago. Owen Jones was swept away in Deer Creek in Delphi back on May 23rd. State conservation officers say the search has been difficult because the creek's levels have been constantly changing with recent rainfall. Aaron.
Good morning. We are at Belzer Scout Camp, where we are learning about how you can be better prepared as you head out into nature. So June is National Camping Month, and Scouts give us some tips. Make sure that you tell people where you're going camping and when you'll be back. Pack an emergency kit, including any medications needed, and 3 to 5 days worth of water. And when you do pick a site, make sure that it's in an open space away from any low-lying branches, and have your tent at least 10 to 15 feet away from your fire. And make sure to put out that fire with water or sand before you leave the site or go to bed. And if you're cooking, especially with a Dutch oven like they do here, wear safety gloves and keep kids away, since temps can reach more than 400 degrees. And if it's your first time camping, build your way up to a more advanced sites, or Scouts say go with a more experienced family. Back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. A woman is mourning the loss of her son for a second time. Cheryl Brown lost an urn containing her son's ashes. 31-year-old Christopher Morton died in September of last year. Brown says she left home Tuesday with a small blue and silver urn inside a Kroger bag in her purse. She later noticed the bag was missing. She hopes someone sees this story and is able to help her track down that bag.
We're getting a sneak peek at the new food coming to the Indiana State Fair. New items include Hoosier Hometown Hash, 2 grilled hash brown patties with Munster pepper jack, cheddar, and Swiss cheese, Angry pretzel poppers rolled in diced jalapenos and served with jalapeno ranch dressing, and bison hush puppies. We do have pictures of all the new State Fair foods on our website, theindychannel.com.
Some firefighters in Zionsville saved a life thanks to an alert neighbor and special equipment for pets. A person bicycling nearby noticed a fire at a home on Iron Gate Drive Wednesday morning. Crews rescued a cat inside the house and used an oxygen mask to help her catch her breath. Elena.
A lot of problems up on our northwest side right now for your morning drive. So we have this block, the one-lane block, northbound 465, that ramp to I-865. So keep in mind that's part of our detour route for this northbound 465 closure between 465 and I-865 to get around and go to northbound 465 to westbound I-865.
It's a mild and muggy morning here across the area with partly cloudy skies, and we'll work more in the way of sunshine in throughout the morning hours, and we'll just call it partly cloudy this afternoon. Just a small chance of a stray storm popping up. Highs anywhere from about 85 to 90 degrees today, depending where you are. Then a stretch of 90-degree heat potentially Friday all the way through Monday. And again, just isolated storm chances. Lots of hazy sunshine in between.
All right, Todd, thank you. We're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic updates. We'll leave you here with a live look overlooking the Circle City. Have a great day.